I'm gonna visualize, explain, and then go over a drill and then how you can take this out into your running. So I always harp on running is about going forward, not up and down. One of the most common things that we see is this bounding. The higher you go, the further you come down, the more impact you're gonna have to deal with. One way to know if you're doing this is if you look at a sign in the distant future, like maybe a stop sign, and if those letters are going up and down, you know you're probably going up and down too much. You should be gliding and be able to read that. So I'm gonna give you a little visual here. So we talk about every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. This force, and I'm talking about the position called push off, where I'm propelling what should be forward. This yellow vector represents kind of where I'm pushing, which is gonna be making me go up. Instead, I want you to think of more like this blue line. And with this blue line, what that's gonna do is that's gonna propel you forward. You're pushing back and going forward, but how you're pushing yourself forward is using your glute, not your calf. So let's demonstrate this. If you have hardwoods, use a towel. If you're on carpet, maybe use a paper plate. So we're gonna mimic this position of push off right before I would be driving off. And from here, I'm gonna place my finger in my butt, not in my butt, on my butt. And I wanna make sure that as I'm driving back, I'm extending. I'm not using my hamstring. I'm using my glute, my glute. And that's propelling me forward, not your calf. If it's your calf, it's gonna look like this. So again, I'm driving back using my glute, which is gonna propel me forward. Couple thoughts or mental metaphors that I use for this is, one, imagine like if you were on a treadmill belt and the treadmill was off, you're trying to move that belt backwards. That's gonna propel you forward. The other is if you're running on a dirt road, you're trying to kick dust up behind you. And the third one, I thought this today when I was out running, imagine like you stepped in dog poop and you're trying to fling that poop off of the ball of your foot. But again, flinging it backwards using your glutes, not your calf, not your hamstring.